people, we get their best effort. So I don't see any difference out of them tonight.
That being said, obviously a little time off, and then you have that win last week, and with that being the one loss you had all season going into that game, you've kind of hit that peak. How do you keep the guys focused as the number one team in the country going into yet another title game?
Well, I think we want to finish. That's the ultimate goal. We talked about winning a CIF title and a state title and potentially having an argument to be the number one ranked team in the country, and that's currently where we're sitting. But we got to finish. If we don't finish, it makes, last week's game a nice win, but we didn't finish the ultimate goal, and it would be a little bit of a letdown. Nevertheless, we got to stay focused. Our kids and the seniors especially know what the end goal is and what we're trying to accomplish. So I have a lot of confidence in my guys. I think they're going to be okay.
How important is your quarterback?
He's such a playmaker for us. He's done so many, good things. He shared time as a sophomore and a junior, waited for this year, and now he finally has the reins to the team. And he's done a really good job, led us to a 12-1 record. And hopefully, a state championship. We'll see how it goes.
One more for you. If you guys win this thing at the end of the day, what are those things that you would have done today well to get to that point?
We're going to run the football, and we got to be able to adjust. It's a new opponent, and they're going to do some things differently, a little unconventional. So the way that we adapt and adjust throughout the course of the game is going to be a great indicator that we were able to accomplish that. And that's the reason why we won.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Hi, this is Brian Panish. It wasn't long after I arrived at St. John Bosco High School that I began to realize what a special place really was. The caring staff, the dedicated teachers, and the world-class football program helped develop me into the man I am today. The lessons I learned here taught me that with hard work and dedication, anything was possible. I've carried that lesson with me throughout my life and through the construction of Panish Family Stadium. I'm proud to have the opportunity to give back to the community that has given me so much. Thank you.
20-yard line inside the Braves red zone, up 16-7. Stiff arm, Sylvester gets to the outside. 15-10, 5, touchdown, St. John Bosco.
This is Jared Harrell, and you're listening to St. John Bosco football.
Set for the opening kickoff here at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo as the number one ranked team in the country, the St. John Bosco Braves at 12-1, meet the 13-0 Serra Padres out of San Mateo, California for the 2022 CIF Open Division State Championship. Hi again, everybody. Josh Schaefer in tonight for Jay Holloway, joined by John Kane. Coach Kane, we're set for we're set for kickoff here between the Braves and the Padres. Team's about to take the field for the first time here. Before we get there, your last thoughts and your key to the game for St. John Bosco.
I think what Coach Negro said is very, very true. You got to be able to run the ball and make adjustments. And I'm not going to go against what he said, obviously. And, these guys have done this before. I said that a few minutes ago. They know what they're doing, so just keep that up. And you can't give up big plays. The one thing Bosco does every once in a while is get caught kind of sleeping, and they'll give up a big play. They did it against Servite. They did it against Orange Lutheran. They've done it a few times. They did it a couple times against Mater Dei. But not tonight, not if they want to beat these guys and be state champions.
They were 4-1 in the Trinity League this year, 12-1 overall. The lone blemish that lost to Mater Dei earlier in the season. And as Coach Negro said when we heard from him with his pregame quotes a few minutes ago, a little bit of vindication with that win. But you want to keep going after that, and you want to keep keep your focus on what's ahead. Yep. And tonight, what's ahead is another state championship for head coach Jason Negro and the St. John Bosco Braves. We talked about Serra a little bit. We heard from head coach Patrick Walsh, and something he had said is, this is a really good Braves team. Obviously, they're the team that has a ton of pressure to win this game. They're expected to win the game, to win another state championship. The Padres are the team coming in here with something to prove, and they're going to take the field here. Get ready for the opening kickoff.
I didn't get to see because we were kind of going through the national anthem and stuff, but Serra must have won the toss and deferred. I highly doubt that Bosco took the ball. They never do that, so I'm just going to assume, Josh, that they deferred because Bosco always defers if they win. So it had to be San Mateo on the defer, but we'll see if this leads to disaster for San Mateo early because Bosco can score quick. So we'll see how it goes here in the beginning.
Eric Denham, Jaleel McLean set to return off to our left. The kicker for the Padres is Dylan Jude. Serra donning the road whites with the white helmets, the bright gold pants, and St. John Bosco, the home team, number one team in California, number one team in the nation. They are donning the all gray jerseys, helmets, pants from head to toe.
By the way, they've never lost in these uniforms. I'll throw that out there. Not trying to jinx them, but seen them play in these uniforms about 6 times, and they win every time when they wear these uniforms. I'm a former coach, so that stuff matters. a little superstitious.
Jaleel McLean heads back to the sideline, and then out comes DeAndre Moore Jr., the other kickoff returner for Bosco.
DeAndre Moore Jr. is like lightning in a bottle. We'll talk more about him as the game goes on.
And here's the kick. It's a knuckleballing football that bounces at the 20, fielded at the 10 by Moore, who steps out to the 20, cuts between the hash marks, and he's brought down to the 30-yard line. And that's where quarterback Pierce Clarkson and the Bosco offense will start things off tonight in the 2022 CIF Open Division California State Championship.
Got a common opponent in here, Josh. They both played. These guys back to back played Central Catholic from San Mateo. So common opponent. We'll talk about that as we go along, but we'll see if the results of that game make any of those games make any difference in what happens here today. We'll see.
3 receivers set, tight end to the left, and Clarkson to take the snap out of the gun. The tailback lined up behind him. Tight end moves from left to right in motion. It's a handoff right side, and he plunges through the small gap and then down for a pickup of about 5 yards.
Yeah, Cam Jones is that's the guy right there, Josh. I told you when we were down on the field before the game, this guy is just a beast, man. He's just a big, strong running back, and he's something you got to really be concerned about. Now they line him up at wide receiver. That's a problem.
Empty backfield for Clarkson here, moving from left to right to start the game. 2nd down and 5 from the 35. Trips to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Clarkson claps once, then twice. Takes the snap, immediately looks left, throws, and it's up in the air, incomplete. Intended for Uyunglele, and it popped right out of his hands and falls incomplete. Brings up a 3rd down and 4 from the St. John Bosco 35.
So I don't know how familiar you are with some of the nicknames, but I'll just fill you in. So Mateo's nickname is Young Concrete, which is a lot easier for me to pronounce, by the way.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And it was nice saying DJ, his older brother, so we'll just stick with Young Concrete if you don't mind.
Trips to the left here for Clarkson. 1 receiver split to the right. That's Young Concrete. And Cam Jones, the back to Clarkson's right. He claps twice, waits for the snap. 3rd clap, he takes the snap, looks to his right, feels a little bit of pressure, rolls right, throws down the sidelines, looking for Jones. It's bobbled and caught at the 40-yard line. He's into Serra territory where he's brought down around the 35-yard line. A spectacular catch by Cam Jones, and it moves the chains for a Bosco 1st down.
You picked the right adjective, Josh. I don't know if there's anybody else that could have made that. And he just, let's remember, he's not a wide receiver. I mean, that ball got tipped and batted twice before he was able to reel that in. What a great play by Cam Jones.
You come to the line with an empty backfield again. Trips to Clarkson's left. He brings Cam Jones in motion to set up to his left hip. He takes the snap, gives it to Jones. He breaks off the right side, plunges his way past the 30 and down to about the 27-yard line. And that brings up about a 2nd down and 5 for Bosco. And, I mean, keep an eye on this running game today for Bosco. I mean, that's what Coach Negro said before the game. They want to run the ball well, something that was held in check last week at the Rose Bowl against Mater Dei. Shotgun snap, play action, throw right side. It's caught by the wide receiver who falls down. That's Isaiah Polk, or Israel Polk, who falls down inside the 15-yard line. It's another Bosco 1st down.
And this is kind of what I was saying, Josh, on the kickoff. I don't know that this is the smartest thing to do against a team that can move the ball and score like Bosco can. So we'll see here. Squeezing this field real quick.
I'll set up here with Jones lined up directly behind Clarkson. takes the snap from the gun, gives up the middle to Jones. He's hit right away, still on his feet, and about 5 or 6 white jerseys wrap him up and drop him at the 14-yard line. They'll stop forward progress inside the 10. Appears down to be at about the 9-yard line.
Yeah, well, they're going to struggle with this guy all night long. That's not going to be easy. If he gets 20, 22 carries, it's going to be a problem.
Out of the shotgun, the give goes to Sylvester. He steps over one man and goes down inside the 5. He's brought down by Timo Poloka inside the 5. It brings up 3rd down now.
I'll keep you up to date on the nickname. Sylvester's nickname is Boogie.
That's something that Jay Holloway had told me this morning.
Boogie Sylvester. He was on a boogie right there, Josh. Didn't quite boogie his way far enough, but don't be surprised to see another boogie.
And they're going to move this forward. And there was a penalty on the play. And that brings it up to the 2-yard line. Didn't see what they called. It might have been an offside.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And now they'll have 4 players in the backfield here. A couple of fullbacks. Clarkson hands off. Sylvester up the middle, shut down and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. There's a handful of players there, but leading the charge was Danny New. And he brings him down at the line of scrimmage, and it's a 3rd down and goal from the Serra 2-yard line for Bosco.
I would find it hard to believe that they would do anything but go for 6 here. Coach Negro is not a field goal kicking kind of guy. So we'll see here. It looks like there's an official timeout, which is odd. I think maybe somebody, their equipment or something looks like for Serra. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, Bosco looked like they wanted to break back toward the sideline, but now the clock will run again with 8:30 to go in the first quarter, still scoreless. But the Braves knocking on the door. They'll go back to the same formation, but Jones slots in as the tailback here. And the give is to Jones. Stutter steps his way inside the 2 and falls into the end zone. It's a touchdown for Bosco.
Yeah, that was pretty methodical, wasn't it?
It sure was.
Let's be honest. I mean, Jones doesn't make that catch, they're probably going to have to punt. But, if doesn't wear clothes all the time. There's a lot of big reasons why these guys are getting recruited by these top schools like this. Cam Jones has made a name for himself this year. He's out of Pasadena and one heck of a football player.
Extra point is perfect, and with 8:18 to go, Bosco takes a 7-0 lead over Serra out of San Mateo, and a really good opening drive for the Braves here at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. And, really on that one reception for Cam Jones, he pretty much, it's a reception, but it almost surpassed his rushing total from the Rose Bowl against Mater Dei. Only had 38 yards on the ground. Really, the rushing attack was kept in check that game by the Mater Dei defense. But today they moved the ball effectively both through the air and on the ground all the way down the field, and they strike first against the Padres.
Yes, sir. And that's kind of how it goes around here. I mean, we've been watching these guys now for several years. Like I said, I'm not so sure that choosing to kick the ball off to a team like Bosco was a smart thing to do. But, that's kind of my job, second-guess coaches. That's why I'm up here now. I don't make those decisions anymore. But I would think that you would at least want to be in front. I think it's going to be very hard for Serra to play from behind. One score is manageable. They get behind by 2, they're going to be in trouble because Bosco's defense is as good as anybody, obviously, in the country. And we heard the Serra coach talking about that before the game. Pretty stout.
Ignacio Fonseca Jr. boots the ball away. Backspinning football fielded at about the 15-yard line and taken back the other way. And they'll break across the 25 down to the 27-yard line. And a short kick, but a short return. It's returned by Keon Loud. They've got 4 kick returners listed on the depth chart. Not 1 and then 3 backups, just 4 total.
Right, yeah. Well, that's kind of a Bosco thing, by the way. They don't, Cam Jones isn't listed as the number 1 running back. He's 1, and then Sylvester's 1A, and they've done that, for years at Bosco. I think it's an ego thing, but I hear what you're saying, Josh. Spread them out like that. That means they can all do it.
So here comes Serra. They trail 7-0. But a chance to get back in the game early on with Milwaukee Smith, the starting quarterback for the Padres, takes the snap out of the shotgun, immediately checks down to his tailback, but it falls incomplete. And that was intended for actually his wide receiver, Jaden Green, who was coming out of the backfield, and it fell incomplete. Immediately brings up a 2nd down and 10.
So, Josh, Jay and I, we talk about that a lot. So those little slip screens that these teams try to run against Bosco, I've never understood why they try. Bosco runs that play. They've run that play for years with Coach Lowe, which means they see it in practice like all the time. I don't know why teams try to do that. But you're not going to fool Bosco with that stuff. You're going to have to get them with, some inside zone stuff off counter and things like that. You're not going to get them on that. You're just not.
All 3 receivers to the right. Smith, he will check down again, and this one once again falls incomplete, intended for Jaden Green.
They've got to be very careful, Josh. He's lobbing that ball out there, and I don't know if they've seen a team with Bosco's speed and size. You put that ball in the right place, somebody's going to be standing in the end zone with it. It's not going to be your guys. It's going to be the other team.
That's a big front 7 for Bosco as well. Well, obviously, that's a design screen. Almost the same kind of play, but then they take Jaden Green out of the backfield in kind of a different way. And let's see what they get here. And Green will move from Smith's right to his left. There are 3 receivers to the right, 1 split to the left. Smith drops to throw, steps up in the pocket, pump fakes. He's going to scramble out to his left, and he'll chuck it out of bounds with 7:17 to go in the first quarter. And just like that, after trailing 7-0, Serra goes 3 and out, and the Braves are going to get the ball back just like that.
Yeah, 3 and out with absolutely nothing to show for those 3 plays. I mean, they got nothing. And it almost looked unfair, if that sounds right. I mean, I don't know. And again, sometimes people ask me, so what's the big deal? What's the big deal with Bosco? Well, number one, the big deal with Bosco is their speed. They have just amazing across-the-board team speed. And number 2 is just they have a lot of depth. And they're gonna show that tonight. They play 30 guys both ways, and that's a lot of people on the field.
Brooks Trimmer in punt formation. Peyton Woodyard set to return, and this thing's nearly blocked. The punter goes down as this one bounces toward midfield, and then will be down by the Padres at the Bosco 45. So short punt, but takes a Serra bounce, and now Pierce Clarkson and the Bosco offense out for their second drive, already leading 7-0.
Right. So we'll see here what they try to do with their personnel. Bosco traditionally likes to rotate guys. I don't think we'll probably see Cam Jones on this series. They like to do that, keep guys fresh. That's what we're going to see here, I think, right now.
Khalil Warren, the tailback, lined up directly behind Clarkson. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And Clarkson on the give, turns to his left. He'll go play action. He'll throw over the middle, and it's incomplete, intended for DeAndre Moore. Led him just a little bit too far, and it's 2nd down and 10 for the Braves from their own 45.
Right, Bosco loves doing that out of that formation. Those little inside slants, those skinny posts, whatever you want to call it, the NCAA route, whatever you call it. And DeAndre Moore might be the fastest guy within 20 miles of here. That guy can just flat out fly. I've seen him do some things on the football field that have made me say, whoa.
Well, DeAndre Moore, number 8 recruit out of the state of California, according to 24/7 Sports, and the wide receiver committed to Louisville. He's lined up to the left. Warren slots back into the backfield to Clarkson's left hip. He'll take the handoff, and he's smothered in the backfield and dropped immediately. Mann and New, the linebackers getting in there for Serra. Jabari Mann and Danny New right down the middle to wrap up Warren and take him down for a loss of 2. That brings up a 3rd down and 12 for the Braves from their own 43-yard line with 6.5 to play in the opening quarter. They'll come to the line with 3 receivers to the right. DeAndre Moore Jr. split to the left. Warren remains the tailback to Clarkson's left hip. Clarkson claps once, twice, takes a snap, looks to his left, and then steps up in the pocket in trouble. He's going to roll out to the right side, got a lot of room. He's up to the 50, across midfield and out of bounds at the 43-yard line. He will get close to a 1st down. Will he get the 1st down? He will. It looks like he just about got it out to the 40-yard line, and that'll move the chains as Pierce Clarkson converts on the ground.
So here's the problem, Josh. I know this is probably the first time you've seen Bosco live like this. Clarkson loves to run. He's very disciplined when he does it, but you cannot lose container on Pierce Clarkson. Can't do it. It's like another running back on the field. And he sees that green, and he's gone. And that's a problem. Serra's going to have to know how to have their outside guys have got to keep that pin, keep container. This could be a long night for Serra on defense.
Clarkson turns and throws to his right immediately. It's complete to Polk. He steps past one man and then is tackled from behind at about the 33-34-yard line. And that will move the chains for another Bosco first down with under 6 to go here in the first quarter.
I like what Bosco's doing with their formations. I like the empty sets, the motion back into a back. That really confuses defenses. It just your alignments change when you do that. Empty sets are a problem for defenses.
Here's an empty backfield. Clarkson drops back in trouble, rolls out to his left, feels pressure. He'll throw it to his left, and it falls incomplete. He was hit and dumped in the backfield by Danny New, and that pass falls incomplete. He was looking for Polk when he was in trouble. Polk had a little bit of room out down the far sideline around the 20-yard line, but led him just a little bit too far as he was just trying to avoid the sack, and it brings up a second down at 10 for Bosco.
Yeah, Danny New is carrying a big baseball bat because, man, whew, that was a smack.
So it's second down at 10, and Warren remains a tailback for Bosco. 2 receivers to the left. Polk is split to the right and now goes in motion from right to left. He'll slow down as he hits the tailback, and it's a give to Warren right side. He goes off tackle and runs over a man at the 30-yard line. He'll pretty much just get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard if that, and it brings up third down and long.
He definitely sent a message up a little level. Whoever was coming up to try to tackle him, that was just brutal.
So he does get a yard, and it brings up third down and 9 with 5:20 to play in the first quarter here at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. The Braves lead the Serra Padres out of San Mateo 7-0 here in the first quarter. 3 receivers to the left, bunched up at the line of scrimmage, and Clarkson takes a snap from the shotgun. He'll look to his left, turns and throws right, and it's incomplete, intended for either Warren out of the backfield or Polk, who had turned around at the 20-yard line, and it fell incomplete out of bounds between the two of them, and it's 4th down and 9 for Bosco with 5:02 on the clock. And the offense looks to stay on the field.
Yeah, they're in that no man's land. I hate using that word, but they are. They're not going to kick a field goal from here. It's kind of dumb to even try to punt because if it rolls in the end zone, you only get about 8 yards.
Yeah.
So you might as well try to go for it. I mean, that's just it's the smartest thing.
Empty backfield for the Braves. Clarkson's got 3 receivers to his left and 2 to the right. One of them is the tailback, Warren. Claps once, twice, and takes it, looking down the left sideline, heaving toward the end zone, and it is in and out of the hands of DeAndre Moore Jr. He went for the home run. Moore beat his man, but he just couldn't hang on in the back corner of the end zone. And with 4:55 to play in the first quarter, Serra will take over with pretty good field position on their own side of the 50.
So let's not forget about that play, because not that it's going to be any kind of a matter in the game, but it just shows you the difference at some level of what Bosco has. I mean, that's a touchdown all day long. DeAndre Moore's made that catch probably 250 times in his life. I'm sure he'd like to go back out there and try it again, but he was beat. Serra defenders were beat, and that's not going to go well if they can't defend that route, because Clarkson put that ball right where it had to be.
Now Milwaukee Smith, the quarterback, he hands off up the middle. It's Green. And he plunges forward for a couple of yards. He'll get about 3, and that brings up a second down and 7. That was Joseph Latu with his first carry.
Latu looked good on that, Josh. He turned his legs there a little bit. He only got about 4 yards, but still, at the same time, this is playing against the best defense on the planet right now, so that's not bad. That's what you want to see out of your backs when you start out.
And Smith's got 2 receivers to his right here, and Latu remains the tailback, lined up directly behind his play caller. And the give goes to Latu again. This time he can't get back to the line of scrimmage. He's wrapped up and dropped. Might have lost a yard on the play.
Josh, I kind of think they did it backwards. I think this is how they probably should have started. Instead of coming out and trying to throw those little, cute little screens and dump routes and stuff, and just try to get the ball and establish a line of scrimmage, which they didn't do. Now Bosco's confident against that little pattern thing that they have going, that little package. Well, you don't want Bosco coming at you full speed ahead against the run, boy. That's very difficult.
And he did lose the yard, so that brings up 3rd down and 8. Empty backfield, 2 receivers to the right, 3 to Smith's left. He takes a snap, immediately turns and throws right, and a diving attempt just at the 1st down marker on the far side of the field falls incomplete. Grant McGovern was the intended receiver, and again, the Padres go 3 and out, and the Braves will get the ball back for their 3rd offensive possession of the 1st quarter, now with 3:27 remaining on the clock.
I don't know if this tells any kind of a story, Josh, but, this is our first time together. Serra's only got about 3 yards total offense right now, and that's not any kind of recipe for success against this Bosco team at all. They've got to figure something out over there when they go on their video board and try to find a weakness, because this could be a long night for the Padres.
It's a high punt, and it bounces out of bounds into the Serra sideline at the Bosco 46. Woodyard didn't have a chance to return it, and now Bosco once again comes out onto the field with phenomenal field position. Their best of the game so far. Start at their own 46 with 3:20 to play in the 1st quarter, and already a 7-0 lead. So the Braves lead the Serra Padres 7-0 with 3:20 to play in the 1st quarter here at Saddleback College in the CIF Open Division State Championship. This is Bosco football presented by Seven Gables Real Estate.
Seven Gables Real Estate gives back to their communities. In August, they partnered with OC Animal Care to donate supplies. In September, their focus will support Operation Warm Wishes by providing coats, socks, blankets, and more to help serve the homeless, troubled youths, and struggling families. The Seven Gables Real Estate mission is to inspire, motivate, and encourage those who are struggling to get back on their feet. Thank you to Seven Gables Real Estate for your support. Next time you're in Long Beach, be sure to stop at Michelle's Mega Hair Growth Treatment Center at 6171 Atlantic Avenue in Long Beach. She has a variety of plant-based products for male and females of all ethnicities that will revive, grow, and strengthen your hair. Walk-ins welcomed. Call 562-336-1017 for appointments. A proud supporter of St. John Bosco football.
3:20 to play in the 1st quarter. It's 7-0 Bosco over the Serra Padres here in the Open Division State Championship game. Tonight's game is presented by Seven Gables Real Estate. Seven Gables Real Estate. Would you like to join a winning team? Place a sure bet with Sherry Carruthers and Seven Gables Real Estate. Email touchdown@sevengables.com for more info. Josh Schaefer, John Kane with you tonight, and I think the early impressions so far has been that it's a quick opening drive touchdown for Bosco, but more importantly, the defense has given up almost literally nothing so far.
Yeah, it's pretty much. I love how you said that. It pretty much is 0 with a couple of those losses. You're probably right. And Coach was very, very, very high on his defense, and rightly so. 13-0, right? There's nothing, you can't take anything away from that. They have not seen a team like Bosco. So you have to remember. I talk about this as a coach with people all the time. When DeAndre Moore is running a fade route down the sideline, you've never seen DeAndre Moore run a fade route down the sideline ever in your life. DeAndre Moore's fast. DeAndre Moore runs great routes. That doesn't mean the guys from Serra aren't capable. It's just different. So when you see it the first time, you're like, whoa, how'd that happen? How'd he get there? How did this guy get off that block so quick? You almost get caught watching, if that makes sense. They got to be careful with that, because you start watching Bosco and you're going to be watching him run into the end zone.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's going on just a little bit right now. They've had some decent little plays here and there, but they've done nothing to slow Bosco down. All the things Bosco's done that hasn't worked is because of a mistake. Yeah. The drop pass, Mateo dropped one going across the middle. It's Bosco's doing, not Serra's.
So 3:20 to play in the first quarter, and Bosco looking to build on a 7-0 lead. They'll start the drive from their own 46-yard line. 3 receivers in the formation. The snap gets away from Clarkson. He has to dive on top of it at the 40-yard line as there were multiple players in white jerseys pouncing on top of him, but he collects the football at the 39-yard line, and that brings up a second down and about 17 now for Bosco, and that's pretty much the best defensive play of the game so far for Serra.
And for the 14th game of the year, I can tell you right now that knowing what I know about Jason Negro, he is over there gritting his teeth because that cannot happen. And this happens to Bosco once or twice a game. They get a bad snap, it's low, it's high. Thank God Pierce Clarkson is as good of an athlete as he is.
Second down and 17 from the Bosco 39. Same formation as 2 receivers to the right. The give goes play action and a diving catch on the opposite side of the 50 by Israel Polk, but they look to have ruled it incomplete.
Let's see if they're going to talk about it. Let's see what they say. The guy behind it, there's no way he can make that call.
And they're going to call it a catch.
So the guy behind it, Josh, he can't see it. Okay, yeah, we'll get to see a replay, but the guy in front of it could see it. So we don't do high school replays, so they have to kind of trust each other. Kind of looked like he did catch that ball.
And the 2 officials coming from behind the defense that were behind the play, one called it incomplete, the other called it a catch. Snap, back to Clarkson, the give, right side, and barreling his way up the middle is Sylvester, but he's pushed back toward the 45-yard line. And again, that was man in there. Jabari Mann for the stop for Serra again. That's his like second of the game.
Be saying their names a lot tonight, Josh.
Yeah.
Jabari Mann is all over the place. He is the man.
He is. And these 2 linebackers, in Danny New and Jabari Mann, are so far the 2 bright spots for the Serra defense.
Yeah,
and, obviously they've turned away Bosco once. There was the dropped catch in the end zone, but these 2 linebackers have been great.
Yeah, they have. There's the reason why coach is so high on their defense.
3 receivers to the left. The give goes to Jones. He barrels his way across the 40 down to the 38-yard line. And he'll pick up a few more. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 5 for the Braves out to the 39 with 1:15 on the clock in the first quarter.
So, again, from a coaching standpoint, Josh, even though Cam Jones is only gaining 2 or 3 yards at a time, he's very hard to tackle. He's just so big and strong. It's still the first quarter, and he's going to be going in the 3rd and 4th quarter running like that. That's an issue. As a defensive coach, you don't want to see that because he's just very, very, very consistent with the way he runs.
Into the final minute of the quarter, the give goes to Jones. It's a reverse. He'll give it back to DeAndre Moore. He turns and heaves one downfield towards the end zone, and it's dropped by Israel Polk. Just a little bit underthrown. He had to turn back, drop to his knees, felt a little bit of pressure from the safety, Teddy Chung. But as he dropped to his knees in the end zone, he dropped the football, and it brings up a 4th down and 5 from the 39.
So DeAndre Moore has done that before. I didn't mean to make that rhyme. But yeah, I think, Josh, he waited just a little bit too long. He took about 2 or 3 more steps than he needed to, but he's not a quarterback, so you can't get mad at him for that. And they kind of think that the Bosco people think that he was pulled down. It did kind of look like that, but because he was falling, because Polk was falling, they didn't call it.
Adam trips to the left on 4th and 5 from the 39. Jones remains the back to Clarkson's hip. Clarkson takes the snap, looks to his left, throws left, and it's complete. And turning away, he was pinched between 2 defenders, and then down the sideline, McLean. He's got a 1st down and then some out to the 21-yard line.
So Bosco likes those little in routes like that. They'll just sit. They run the coaches call them different things: sit route, stop route, whatever, chair, whatever they call it. But they love that route, and there's a reason.
It was
a guy like that. Polk can do a lot with it when he catches it.
It was a bit of a jump ball, and he was crunched between the 2 defenders, but stayed on his feet. Clarkson takes the snap. He looks immediately to his left. It's complete to Moore. He jumps forward and is brought down out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. And that brings up another, I know it'll be just short. It's 2nd down and about 1.
So this is where, Josh, they like to go to Mateo.
Let's see what they do here with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, it's perfect position to go to him.
They'll get another playoff. It's Jones up the middle, a lot of room. He's down to the 5, steps over one man and goes down at the 1 yard line as time expires in the first quarter. A touchdown saving tackle by the defensive back, and the quarter comes to a close with Bosco knocking on the door again. We'll step aside. It's the Braves 7, the Padres nothing. And this is Bosco football presented by Seven Gables Real Estate.
Do you like touchdowns? Do you like being part of a winning team? Place a sure bet with my team, Sherry Carruthers and Seven Gables Real Estate, and our lending partner, Primco Mortgage. And for the next 90 days, Primco Mortgage is offering a $200 gift card for anyone that gets pre-approved for a loan. And when you close your loan with Primco Mortgage, they'll even pay for your appraisal. Email touchdown@sevengables.com for more information.
Primco Mortgage, LLC, and NMLS number 2027885, an equal housing lender.
Pizza, burgers, and wings. Tam's Pizzeria has it all. You can find us on the corner of Rosecrans and Bellflower, less than a 5-minute walk from St. John Bosco. Planning ahead? Give us a call at 562-925-7700. Tam's Pizzeria in Bellflower is the official pizzeria of the St. John Bosco Football Radio Network. Swing by after the big win.
Start of the second quarter here at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. It's the 2022 CIF Open Division State Championship game between the St. John Bosco Braves and the Serra Padres. Hi again, everybody. Josh Schaefer, the coach John Kane with you tonight here at Saddleback College. The Braves lead the Padres 7-0, and they're knocking on the door again. First and goal for the Braves down to the Serra 2-yard line.
I would say, Josh, that if you're associated with Serra at all, that you're pretty happy with 7-0. It's going to be a lot worse. I mean, Serra's run 6 plays total. They've got absolutely nothing on offense. At least Bosco only has 7 points, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Could be a lot worse.
Well, they've dropped 2 touchdowns.
Right? Could be 28, could be 21. You know, they're very lucky at this point.
Well, we'll see what the Braves go to for this first down and goal from the 2-yard line. The final play of the first quarter was a 20-yard carry for Cam Jones and a touchdown-saving tackle for Serra. Dropped him at the 2-yard line, so it brings up a first down and goal from the Padres 2 for Bosco to start the second quarter with their eyes set on a 13 and eventually a 14-0 lead.
Absolutely. When you mentioned coming out of the break there, you know, hey, California State Championship, this is also the national championship team. No question about it. And it's great to be on this and be able to do it through Max Preps, too, because these guys are great. Steve Montoya and his crew, man, they're the best. And it's just so much fun to be a part of high school football through a company and a website that does such a great job. And their app, by the way, fantastic. So shout out to Steve and Stu up on the Northern California coast.
First down and goal from the 2, a goal line set for Bosco. The quarterback, Clarkson, out of the gun. He gives to the right side. Jones streaking toward the end zone, and he walks in. Touchdown, Bosco. 5 seconds into the quarter, it took just one more play, and the Braves are out to a 13-0 lead with an extra point to come.
Coach Walker before the game was saying, you know, how impressed he was with his defense, and you can't take anything away from that statement. They're reeling right now. This isn't fun if you're on that white jersey right now. Not at all.
Lee's PAT is up and good. Marcus Lee tacks on another one, and it's 14-0 Braves with 11:55. Still a lot of time left in the second quarter.
A lot of time left in the second quarter. A lot of time left in the game, unfortunately, for those people who are thinking that Serra has a chance. We're going to have to get something going quick. The problem is with Bosco, just to be clear, is they can score. So even if you now get into a game where it's we score, they score, we score, they score, you're going to have to stop them at some point. It's just so hard. It's so difficult.
They've already scored twice, both of them on the ground. Something that Bosco had struggled with at the Rose Bowl a little while back against Mater Dei.
You're right. And again, when you say struggled against Mater Dei, it's because it's Mater Dei. So there were literally 73 people that played in that game at the Rose Bowl that have an FBS offer. 73 on 2 teams.
That's incredible.
It's insane. There's not 73 people that get a scholarship offer in the entire state of Wyoming. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, it's crazy.
Fonseca's kick is away, fielded at the 10-yard line and taken out up the middle and immediately wrapped up at the 17 or 18-yard line. Jaden Green on the return. And now a long way to go for Serra. They trail 14-0, and they're going to have to go about 83 yards to try to cash in this time. They're trailing the Braves 14-0.
Yeah, so let's talk about that common opponent real quick. So Modesto Catholic played both of these teams, believe it or not, back-to-back. Serra went over there and beat them 42-30. The next week, Bosco went up there and beat them 65-0. What does that mean? I don't know. I just know that 65 points in a high school football game is really hard to do.
Yeah.
So against a team that's pretty darn good. You know, Modesto Catholic's not a slouch. It's an interesting set here.
Smith's lined up in the I formation, which now turns into kind of an offset I, and then pitched out of the backfield to the right side, hit by one man, and then dropped out of bounds. And it's going to be a pickup of just about 1 for Serra. Devin Bryant, the leading tackler for this Bosco defense, makes a stop.
Right. So when you start doing things like that, like funky formations and odd things, you're running out of ideas. It's only the second quarter. It's the beginning of the second quarter. Early to be running out of ideas. It just is. I mean, it's just really hard at this point. Bosco's got their ears pinned back, Josh. They're coming.
5 receiver set. Smith throws over the middle. It's tipped and intercepted. Coming back the other way. Aaron Mikey Williams streaking down the near sideline. He dives for the pylon, and he's in. It's a pick 6. Touchdown, Bosco.
Well,
Smith turned and tried to fire back to the near side. It deflected off of his wide receiver's hands. He threw it a little bit behind him, and waiting there for it was Aaron Mikey Williams, who went all the way back for the Bosco touchdown to make it 20-0.
Yeah, you know, those tip balls like that, I think Bosco kicks this extra point. I'll just mention it.
Lee's on for his third attempt. This one is up and good. That makes it Bosco 21, San Mateo Serra 0, with 10:59 to play in the second quarter.
So, just so people understand, when that ball gets tipped in the air like that, every single DB from the defensive side can see the ball. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they're all looking that way. It's very difficult for an offensive player to make that play at all. You just can't. So what Cam Jones did in the first quarter makes it all the more interesting that he could do that. But those tip balls like that are 100% advantage defense. And Mikey Williams is right there where he should be, playing a tip. And as a former coach, I can tell you we do that drill a lot. That drill just led to 7 points for the Braves.
And Mikey Williams with his second interception of the season. And another one of those Louisville commits. They've sure got a handful of them on the Braves this year. And, you know, we were told that new Cardinals head coach Jeff Braun might be here tonight.
Yeah, I think he might be. I think we might see a few big-time coaches here. There's not much going on. I wouldn't be surprised to see Chip Kelly and Lincoln Riley and some of those guys here, too. It's right down the road. So Mateo is definitely a prize for a lot of these guys, along with half the Bosco team for sure.
So 10:59 to play in the quarter, and Bosco kicks it away with Fonseca. It's fielded inside the 5. Best kickoff of the day for Bosco, and Green is wrapped up and dropped at the 7-yard line.
Boy, things are just not going well right now for Serra, Josh. I mean, again, just to reiterate some of the things. So St. John Bosco's played Mater Dei twice this year, right? So they split with them. Kind of close the first time. It got away from them there at the end when they played them in Santa Ana. Second game was was a great game. Evan, our producer that's here with us tonight, who does a great job, by the way, will attest to what kind of game that was. But those are the two best teams in most people's mind in the country. So Bosco was ready physically. Are they ready mentally? That's the question. It's 21-0. It kind of looks like they are.
Jayshawn Frausto-Ramos had the big tackle on that kickoff, and now Smith rolls to his left, throws it. It's complete out to the 25, and then down to the 27-yard line. There's a big completion and the best offensive play of the day so far for Serra. It's complete to Seamus Gilmartin, and that moves the chains for the first Serra first down of the ball game.
17-yard gain. It's good for Serra.
10:35 to play in the quarter. It's 21-0 Bosco and a 17-yard gain. Biggest offensive play of the day so far for the Padres.
Yeah, that's a play that a lot of teams are running now. It's filtered down from the pros, that kind of tight sideline fade. Very hard to defend for a DB.
Low snap fielded by Smith. He'll throw to Green out of the backfield. He bobbled it and then looked like he brought it in. And
better off it was incomplete.
Yeah, they're going to say it's a catch, and he's going to lose a couple of yards on it. So that's now the third time they've tried to connect with Jaden Green out of the backfield on that same type of play. The first two came out to the left side. This one comes out to the right side. Right. And the first two times fell incomplete. This one probably would have been better if it was incomplete.
Yeah, I think it would have been, absolutely. Because, again, so Bosco traditionally plays a pretty vanilla kind of defense. But when they can pin their ears back and send guys, and they can blitz, which they've done on a few of these plays, but they're very difficult to deal with because there's too many guys. There's too many guys to block.
Play action. Smith rolls out to the right. He throws to his right, and it's just out of the reach of a leaping Gilmartin. They went kind of back to that same play, just flipped it to the other side of the field, and, I mean, it almost worked again, but this time Smith fired it just a little bit too high for Gilmartin as wide receiver.
Right. Gilmartin's got some size on him. He's very difficult to deal with when you're that big like that. Bosco's DBs are not tall. They're kind of light, very, very fast, very quick, good ball skills. Not big kids. They've traditionally not had big DBs. Probably Peyton Woodyard, probably the biggest one they've had in a while, going to Boston College next year. But most of their guys are regular average-sized DBs, and they're not big.
3rd down and 13. Need a conversion here if you're Serra. An empty backfield. Smith turns, throws to his right, and it's incomplete. Intended for his wide receiver at just around midfield, Keon Loud. He split between two defensive backs, but it fell incomplete on the opposite side of the 50. And now again, Serra comes up empty after converting on the 17-yard first down. And they'll have to punt it away, already down 21-0 with 9:23 to go in the quarter.
Danger right there, Josh. That ball gets picked off. That's another pick six. And that was close. That was very, very close.
Trimmer in punt formation again, and Woodyard set to return for Bosco. He's lined up on the hash marks near side at his own 48. The punt is away. Side spinning football that goes out of bounds into the Bosco sideline at about the 42-yard line. And they'll spot at the 41, it appears. And with 9:17 to play in the second quarter, Bosco has a chance to build on their already 21-0 lead here in the Open Division State Championship.
So we just met each other today, Josh, but what do you think? I mean, this is one of those things where you kind of feel the sense of it just getting away. I mean, do you try to hit a home run on this play? I mean, Bosco likes to do that. What do you think?
I mean, you can almost, without putting it away, it seems like you could put it away pretty early here.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. We got Moore down here singled up again, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
He's just so fast.
Trips to the right, Moore split to the left. The interior receiver on the right side, that's the far side, just inside the hash marks is the tight end, Mateo Uyunglele, and they'll go play action. Clarkson's going to keep it. He'll just dive forward for a pickup of maybe one. He got back to the near hash marks and felt trouble in coming, so he just dove forward. He'll get about 1 yard with 9 minutes to play in the second.
I think the turf monster got him, Josh. He didn't look like he tripped there. Watch out for those white lines.
And brings up a 2nd down and 9 now. 2 receivers to Clarkson's right, 1 to his left. Khalil Warren's a tailback lined up directly behind him. He'll give it to Warren. He dives forward, and he's tripped up by one of those linebackers again. Danny New was in there. Jabari Mann was in there, and he'll dive forward for a pickup of about 5, and that brings up a 3rd down and 4 for Bosco.
Serra's linebackers could play on any high school football team on the planet. Those two guys are just ball sniffers, man. They're everywhere. The defensive coach, those are the guys you want. I mean, they're just sticking that face mask in there. Big-time football out of the backers from Serra.
And those two linebackers split out wide on either side of the box here. An empty backfield for Clarkson with trips to his right, two to his left. He takes the snap, throws over the middle, complete to Moore. Across the 40, down to the 35-30, stepped over one man and is brought down at the 25-yard line. And that'll move the chains for another big-time first down for Bosco. A pickup of 20-plus yards, and the Braves' offense is moving again.
They're lucky they got more on that because Evan will agree with me on this. Man, that kid's fast. He's, boy. He gets out in the open. It's over. Great job tackling right there. Those open field tackles, not easy.
And they kind of manipulated those linebackers there, drawing them to the outside of the box. And now another shotgun handoff up the middle for Warren. He's got room. He plows over two players at the 15-yard line. They'll stop him at the 14, and it's another first down for Khalil Warren. And that brings up first down and 10 from the 14-yard line with 7.5 to play. They'll hurry up to the line. Clarkson claps once. He'll give it to Warren up the middle again. Steps back inside toward the hash mark. Shakes off one man. Dives forward. Touchdown, Bosco. A 14-yard carry for Khalil Warren. He broke 2 or 3 tackles on the run, and now all 3 Bosco tailbacks have touchdowns. It's 27-0 Bosco.
Well, Josh, how would you like to be coaching a high school football team and Khalil Warren is the third running back on the team? I mean, what do you do? I mean, there's just nothing you can do. I mean, that guy would be the starting tailback on every single other team in the country, maybe except Mater Dei.
Extra points up and good. That makes it 28-0. St. John Bosco still with 7:18 to play here in the second quarter at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. We will take a break. The Bosco offense is rolling, and the defense isn't giving up much. This is Bosco football, presented by Seven Gables Real Estate.
When personal injury lawyers find themselves overwhelmed with complex cases they can't handle, they turn to St. John Bosco's own Brian Panish and Panish, Shea & Boyle, LLP. Recognized by Los Angeles Business Journal as a leader of influence and superb litigation specialist, Brian Panish and his team of skilled trial attorneys can handle any case that comes at them. Why not go where the lawyers go? Panish, Shea & Boyle, honored to serve as the strength by your side. Call 310-477-1700 or visit psblaw.com for a free consultation.
The Braves red zone. Allen showing blitz. Pierce jump ball for Mateo, and he makes the catch right side. Is he in? Yes, he is. Touchdown, St. John Bosco.
This is Sean McGrew, and you're listening to Bosco Football.
Do you like touchdowns? Do you like being part of a winning team? Place a sure bet with my team, Sherry Carruthers and Seven Gables Real Estate and our Lind Mortgage. And for the next 90 days, Primco Mortgage is offering a $200 gift card for anyone that gets pre-approved for a loan. And when you close your loan with Primco Mortgage, they'll even pay for your appraisal. Email touchdown@sevengables.com for more information.
Primco Mortgage, LLC, and NMLS number 2027885, an equal housing lender. This season, St. John Bosco touchdowns are sponsored by Steelcraft. Born of a desire to see people come together over food and drinks, Steelcraft unites local eateries with a communal dining space in Long Beach, Bellflower, and Garden Grove. Whether you come for the food, the drinks, or the people, there's a place for you at the Steelcraft table. For the latest on upcoming events, visit www.steelcraftlb.com or follow them on Instagram at Steelcraft.
7:18 to play, second quarter. All Bosco here at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. It's the Braves 28 and the Padres nothing in the CIF Open Division State Championship. Hi again, everybody. With Coach John Kane, I'm Josh Schaefer in tonight for Jay Holloway. Walgreens is making Medicare easier by saving you money and peace of mind. Find the best, most affordable plan for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare today. 28-0 Bosco, and Serra just looking for a little bit of life on offense. There's been a few plays defensively where it seemed like they might get just a little bit of momentum only for Bosco to come back and play later. But offensively, there's been close to nothing except for a 17-yard first down conversion that turned out to not be much.
Well, Jay, if he's listening, will know. I've said for years, Bosco, they're soul stealers, and I'll explain that in a minute.
Fonseca's kick is away, fielded at the 4-yard line along the near hash mark with a little bit of room out to the 20, and then wrapped up and falling forward down to the 21 and maybe the 22-yard line is Jaden Green. And that's where the Padres will start their drive with 7:11 to play in the second quarter.
So Bosco has this knack for just taking away whatever you just did that you felt was really good. So, like, you'll get a big play, and then all of a sudden, boom, Bosco scores and eliminates it. You get a big play on offense, you gain 8-10 yards, and then, boom, Bosco gets a sack. You get a nice little out route or something like that, get a first down, and boom, they get an interception. They're just got an uncanny way of just taking your soul right when you think you're going to get it. And they're like, no. And that's really hard because for a team that's 13-0, hasn't been in this position, they've never been behind like this. This isn't something they're used to at all.
Iloaki Smith, he gives it off to the left side and zigzagging his way out across the 20, back toward the line of scrimmage was his wide receiver, Caden Weber. And that brings up a 2nd down and 10 if they deem that he got back to the line of scrimmage, which he did.
Right. So, Josh, again, some people are watching this game, it's on Spectrum. But if you're only hearing it on the radio, it's hard to describe this, but just imagine the Bosco players in the middle of the field, their linebackers, their defensive tackles, they're able to get from the middle of the field to the sidelines faster than anybody. So those out routes like that, those little, kind of sweep plays or a jet sweep, it's just not something that's going to work against Bosco. And by the way, on that play, there was some kind of penalty because it's 1st and 5.
Yeah, so that'll bring up a 1st and 5. That was actually Lucas Schumacher.
Do you see anything there, Josh?
No, I didn't see it. They might have said that it was they said they were offside.
It had to be.
It brings up a 1st down and 5. So Bosco with 3 lined up on the line, and then a throw out to the right side. They'll try a double pass, throwing forward down the sideline, and a diving catch. It's complete across midfield, and the pass complete to Grant McGovern. He was one who made that diving attempt earlier, and this time he makes the catch across midfield for the longest conversion of the day for Serra, and with 6.5 to play, they're on the Bosco side of the 50.
That was an amazing catch. We have a nice big video board here at Saddleback College, and boy, oh boy, he went down there. It's as good a catch as I've seen all year. That was phenomenal. Great job.
Jaden Green, the tailback, but quarterback Smith will go play action. He rolls out to the right, and then he will dump it off for the big tight end, Cole Harrison. And he'll get 2 or 3. That brings up 2nd down and 7. Devin Bryant, a linebacker for Serra, there to make the stop, or for St. John Bosco, rather, to make the stop. It brings up a 2nd down and 7 with under 6 to play in the quarter.
Devin Bryant is the leader of the Bosco defense by far. Last year, not this past season, the season before against Mater Dei, he really came out of his shell, and boy, he's taken over that defense, and it's his defense, there's no question.
Smith sends Green, the tailback, out wide to the left, and then throws over the middle. It's complete, and Schumacher stutter steps his way back inside the hash marks. He's wrapped up at the 35 and then thrown down to the turf. Kingston Villamuesa with the stop, and he met him after Schumacher had kind of wove his way through the defense, enough for a 1st down until he ran into a brick wall.
Yeah, well, Asa missed a whole year with a knee injury, and he's back this year, getting a chance to show what he can do, and boy, oh boy, he's really been a bright spot. Not that they needed him, bright spots, but he's been a bright spot on the defense. Boy, he's as good as anybody.
Smith claps once, then twice. It's a handoff left side to Latu. Nowhere to go. He's wrapped up and dropped immediately in the backfield by Vaca Hansen.
Vaca Hansen's another guy that, and if you can see, Josh, how many guys Bosco subs out, 3, 4, 5 guys at a time. I mean, I've said this many times on these broadcasts. You just don't see that. I mean, maybe one or two guys, but they just wholesale guys in and out. And that's so hard when they got fresh bodies and fresh legs, and they got something to prove. It's really hard when you're trying to play against a team like that. So Serra's got their work cut out for them.
Smith out of the shotgun takes a snap. He'll throw over the middle, and it's intercepted, but a flag comes down up the far sideline. R.J. Jones, he's wrapped up around the 22-yard line and pushes his way across the 25, but the wide receiver was hit from behind, and this is likely going to be pass interference against the defense.
I think you're right, and it wasn't necessary, but we'll see what they come up with here.
And the tight end, Cole Harrison, he had a little bit of room, was hit from behind, and then when he got knocked down, Smith's pass just kept going right into the hands of R.J. Jones.
Pick the flag up, or what are they doing? Oh, there we go.
And so a pass interference called against Bosco here. And now with a little bit of help from the defense, Serra starting to move the ball really for the first time today. Smith just let one go down the sideline, or down the middle rather. But Celis Williams hit Harrison and knocked him down, and the pass just kept going right into the hands of R.J. Jones.
Right.
So 1st and 10 now for the Padres from the Bosco 22. 3 receivers to the right, none to the left. Smith looks back toward the far sideline. Scans across the line, waits for the snap. Takes the snap, but whistles sound.
It's going to be against Serra.
And it'll be a false start against the Padres.
So let's talk about Smith just for a second, Josh. Coach said this before the game. He's going to break every passing record that Serra has, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of those guys' records he's going to break is a guy named Tom Brady.
Yeah.
There's not a person on the planet alive that's going to break a record that's set by Tom Brady except for this guy right here. There's nobody in the NFL right now at this point, if that makes sense. So somebody who hasn't been born yet maybe, but.
He'll go play action, in trouble, throw left side. It's knocked around, nearly intercepted, almost at the line of scrimmage by the linebacker, Devin Bryant, and it falls incomplete with 3:55 to play in the quarter, and that brings up 2nd down and 15.
And you almost wonder why they keep going back to that stuff. Those little dinky little screens and dump routes and stuff. They're catching Bosco on those slants and on the skinny post. Just go back to that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, just stay with it. It's working.
I mean, you got to question, does Smith feel like he's getting hit almost every play? Is he running out of time, or do they not want to try to air it out with, the threatening secondary that Bosco has? Here's an empty backfield and a low snap fielded by Smith. He'll turn and throw right. It's complete to Schumacher, and he's turned and wrapped up by Jayshawn Frausto Ramos right where he catches the ball at the line of scrimmage, and that's almost no gain.
That's what I mean. See,
it brings up 3rd down.
Those plays don't fool Bosco because they run those plays. That Bosco does this stuff. So you've got to. Bosco's weak. I won't say weak. Bosco's vulnerable. Oh, roughing the passer.
Yeah, they're going to get him for roughing the passer.
Whoa. On a little quick route like that, I'd like to see that replay. We'll see if you can get there to get that fast.
I'll see if they show it on the video board. They haven't shown the replay yet.
Many times they don't show the penalties.
Yeah, usually they did show the PI.
Yeah.
There's still a flag lying on the field. Somebody needs to pick that up. And now they're bunched up. Looked like they were going to go double wing, and then they'll whistle this one down. Yep. 3:29 to play in the 2nd quarter. And St. John Bosco takes its first time out of the half with Serra showing up in the double wing all of a sudden. So Jason Negro uses timeout. And with 3:29 to go, we'll take a quick break. It's the Braves 28, the Padres nothing, but piecing together their first really good offensive drive of the game. This is Bosco Football, presented by Seven Gables Real Estate.
Thanks to St. John Bosco alum Brian Panish, 4 Bosco regular season football games will air on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN radio this season. With a huge signal, you can tune into the games from San Diego to Santa Barbara. And if you're out of the area, we'll still have you covered on maxpreps.com. Listening to St. John Bosco touchdowns is something we won't get tired of hearing this season. Every Braves end zone trip is sponsored by Steelcraft, the perfect one-stop shop for your events, big or small. Birthdays, retirement, corporate events, holiday parties, and more. They're ready to celebrate with you at Steelcraft. Check out one of their 3 Southern California locations in Long Beach, Garden Grove, and right down the street from the Bosco campus in Bellflower. Bosco plays here. Steelcraft supports them.
This is Jason Negro, and you're listening to the home of the national champion Bosco Braves.
3:29 to play in the second quarter. It's the Braves 28, the Padres nothing here in the second quarter. The CIF Open Division State Championships.
They're kind of back in that double wing.
Yeah, first down and 10. The Padres finally driving. The backup quarterback comes in, and it's a run out to the right side, inside the 10, and then wrapped up and thrown down at the 7-yard line by R.J. Jones as they actually take Milwaukee Smith out and instead
he's coming back in, Josh.
Go to some of the big tailbacks.
No, they're going to stick in this double wing. So the problem with this double wing is that if it doesn't work, you're just beating your guys up.
That's
shift out of it.
That's Jabari Mann, the big linebacker we've been raving about. He's going to take the snap out of the shotgun with 5 receivers to the right, but he'll dive up the middle. He's met immediately by a host of Brave defenders and then dropped back at the line of scrimmage. So he'll get no gain inside 2:44 or 2:45 to play in the first half. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6.
The clock stopped for some reason. I don't know why.
The clock stopped. It might have thrown a flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call illegal formation. And, if it's an illegal formation, it's probably because of that the formation that we saw where there were 5 players split to the near sideline, and you're likely going to get that.
There it comes. You can see it. There wasn't enough guys on the line of scrimmage, probably.
Yeah, they probably had too many guys off the line of scrimmage.
Right. Too many guys in the backfield, yeah, exactly.
So 2:44 to play in the quarter. It brings up a 2nd down and 10. 2nd down and 11, rather, and it'll be from the Bosco 17-yard line. Or a 12-yard line, and they'll roll out to the right side. He's hit, loses the football, and it's recovered by the Braves. Viliamu Asa down the sideline and then tracked up from behind and dropped. And Kingston Viliamu Asa recovered the football as Smith got hit trying to let go of the football.
So, Josh, when I was telling you how fast, you can see on the replay here, how fast the Bosco defense is. I mean, you have to see it live to understand it. I mean, they just move so well, and they move together very well. Got a flag over here on this. It's got to be a sideline warning. It is on Bosco. Yeah. Bosco's got 200 people on their sideline. Coaches, managers, players, medical staff, the statisticians, former players, moms, dads, uncles. Pretty crowded over here on the Bosco side. Got Coach Nagel. He's going to shave tonight. He hasn't shaved in a while. He's going to shave tonight. There's enough of this.
An empty backfield for Clarkson, who's set to take the snap. 1st and 10 Bosco from their own 40. High snap. Clarkson corrals it, throws over the middle, a quick strike to Moore, spins away from one man. He's across the midfield marker and then down to the 47-yard line for another Bosco first down on the first play of the drive.
So not scoring right there was just catastrophic for Serra because I didn't want to say anything until I saw it, but I was pretty sure Bosco was going to come out and try to score right here. And basically throw a nail in this coffin because
2-minute drill here. Yep. Snap back. Clarkson steps up in the pocket, throws down the middle. It's complete to Moore. Inside the 10, he'll walk in. Touchdown, Bosco. DeAndre Moore with his 10th touchdown grab of the season, and he makes it 34-0 St. John Bosco with 1:46 to play in the first half.
Well, they had a pretty systematic drive there, Serra did. They got the ball down the field, they got close, and then they got cute with that double wing stuff, and it didn't work. And just like that, like I told you, right, Josh? I was just telling you about Soul Stealers. When you think you got a chance, they do the Dikembe Mutombo finger. Bring that stuff over here. That's what happens.
Lee's PAT is up and good, and with 1:46 to play in the first half, it's the St. John Bosco Braves 35 and the Serra Padres nothing. Tonight's game is presented by Seven Gables Real Estate. Whether you're looking to sell your home or upgrade or downsize, Sherry Carruthers at Seven Gables Real Estate are here to help. Expect red carpet service and results. Check out their 5-star reviews on Zillow.com. So the long strike right along the near hash mark from Pierce Clarkson to DeAndre Moore Jr., who hauls in his 10th touchdown grab of the season. First passing touchdown of the game for Pierce Clarkson, and that makes it 35-0 Bosco in the first half.
Well, we want you guys to keep listening because we like to talk.
Of course.
But boy, oh boy, there's going to be hard to find stuff here if Serra doesn't find a way to just stop this bleeding here, because 35 points and a half is a lot in high school football. And I just find it hard to believe that Serra's going to have any way to even make a run at this in the second half. But anything's possible, I guess.
Fonseca's kick, caught inside the 10 by Green. He's up the middle with a little bit of room, broke one tackle, and then plunges across the 30, tackled from behind at the 32-yard line. And a good return there for Jaden Green. And now, with 1:39 to go in the half, it's time to see this inside 2-minute drill for Serra and see what they're made of before the half, already trailing by 5 touchdowns.
I think, Josh, they got to be very careful not to do things that they don't normally do. Try to throw long passes, get crazy with different things, end up with another tip ball and a pick six. You don't want that. So you got to be – I'd be surprised if they go out there and fling it around. But a lot of pride over there on that Padre sideline.
And they went 13-0 this year for a reason. And they come to the line with 5 receivers, 3 to Smith's left, 2 to his right. He's lined up along the near hash mark, takes the snap out of the shotgun, immediately looks right, throws, and it's complete to McGovern out across the 35 to the 39-yard line and out of bounds with 1:36 on the clock. And that brings up a second down and about 2 at the 38-yard line. Or they'll mark it at the 40-yard line. First down marker at the 42. So second down and 2 after the gain of 8 on the pass complete from Smith to McGovern. 2 receivers again to the right, 3 to the left. Same formation, and Smith is lined up on the hash mark at the 35. He takes the snap belt high, looks to his left, throws left. It's complete to Schumacher down the sideline with a lot of room, scampers across the 35, and steps out of bounds willingly at the 32-yard line for a big Serra first down with 1:28 to play in the first half.
Well, and just so you know, look who's coming off the field, all the backups. Coach Negro just put literally every one of the starters back in. Mateo's back in. They got their starting corners are back in. They're saying, you're not going to score on us, guys.
And they'll flip the formation now that they're on the far hash mark. Low snap, fielded by Smith. Turns and throws to the left. It's complete. Stutter stepping around the 30 and then tackled by 2 Bosco defenders out to the 25-yard line. And that's Joey Villaroman with 1:16 to play in the first quarter. And the clock stops. And it looks like Serra has taken its timeout with 1:16 to go, trailing 35-0. We'll take a break. The Braves leading 35-0, but Serra once again piecing together another decent offensive drive. We'll take a break. This is Bosco Football, presented by Seven Gables Real Estate.
I'm Sherry Carruthers with Seven Gables Real Estate. Whether you're selling your home or looking to upgrade or downsize, let me help achieve your goals. Expect red carpet service and results, but don't just take it from me. Check out my 5-star reviews on Zillow.com.
When personal injury lawyers find themselves overwhelmed with complex cases they can't handle, they turn to St. John Bosco's own Brian Panish at Panish, Shea & Boyle, LLP. Recognized by Los Angeles Business Journal as a leader of influence and superb litigation specialist, Brian Panish and his team of skilled trial attorneys can handle any case that comes at them. Why not go where the lawyers go? Panish, Shea, and Boyle, honored to serve as the strength by your side.
35-0 Bosco, 1:16 to play in the first half, and a 2nd down and 3 for Serra. The quarterback, Smith, under pressure, turns and throws to his left. He had to get that ball out quick, and it falls incomplete out of bounds to bring up a 3rd down and 3 from the Bosco 25.
I'd say you almost are at the point now where you have got to score. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to get some points. You go into halftime and you see that big 0 on the scoreboard up there. It's just going to be very hard to motivate yourselves in that locker room at halftime. I just think you've got to find a way to get that ball across that end zone line. Give your kids some hope.
4 receivers to the right, 1 split to the left. And from the far hash mark, Smith takes the snap, turns and throws out of the backfield to a man who's met at the line of scrimmage and was drilled by Jayshawn Frausto Ramos, and he is slow to get up. Helped back to his feet, and looks like he might have just got the wind knocked out of him. That was Keon Loud, who got drilled by Frausto Ramos.
And I know I get very repetitive when I say this stuff, but again, those little quick wide receiver screens, Bosco's run those plays for 10 years. And you're just not fooling the DBs. You're just not. I mean, they've seen this play so many times. I mean, that was just I don't know if he got the wind knocked out of him, Josh, or if he's going to end up with what we used to call a Charlie horse. Took that helmet right on the thigh right there, and boy, that did not look fun at all.
So 1 minute to play, and it brings up a 4th down and 6 after the 3-yard loss.
I think that was Mikey Williams, Josh. I'm pretty sure that was Fausto Ramos was on the inside. Mikey was the one that came in and delivered that blow. But either way, it doesn't feel good having that Bosco helmet on your thigh like that.
And Serra's going to take a timeout here with 51 seconds to go on a 4th and 6 looming at the Bosco 32-yard line. Special thanks to St. John Bosco alum Brian Panish for making our games on AM 1090 and here on Max Preps possible this season. With 51 seconds remaining in the quarter, and Bosco leading 35-0, a 4th down looming. John, you were a coach. I certainly hope you haven't been in too many of these situations, of course. But if you're Patrick Walsh, what are you really looking for from your offense here on a 4th and 6 down by this much in the first half?
You got to have something to tell your kids at halftime positive, right? I mean, you can't go in there and be like, guys, we can't do anything. They've gotten these little drives together, but they're no good if you don't score. These little Pyrrhic victories are not going to work. You got to get the ball in the end zone. What we haven't seen is Smith run at all.
No, not at all.
I kind of think a quarterback draw with the way Bosco's coming would be open, but it may not be his thing.
So trips to the left. Smith takes the snap. He turns and throws to his left, and it is incomplete, and 2 flags come in. Gil Martin was the intended receiver. He turned around inside the 10, was a little off balance, but as he tried to make the catch, I believe it was Peyton Woodyard who reached a hand in there and pulled Gil Martin backward away from the football.
And that was pass interference. I could see it. So
yep. And
sometimes I'm critical of the officials, but that was a good call. That was pass interference.
So with 46 seconds to go, it's a 1st down, or will be a 1st down for the Padres. And they're going to give the Padres a new set of downs here and another chance to try to punch this in. And you got to think here, they were in this situation before.
Right.
And turned the ball over on the sack and the fumble that was recovered by Viliamo Asa. And now with 46 seconds to go, you can't have that mistake this time.
No. And I just don't think you're going to see any kind of double wing or any other weird offense. You're going to just see them trying to ride Smith here all the way to a touchdown if that's possible. They got 4 downs to do it. 46 seconds.
4 receivers to the right, set up in the diamond. 1 receiver to the left. Smith takes the snap. He turns and throws a fade route down the far sideline, and it is incomplete in the end zone. Intended receiver standing in the near corner of the end zone was Joey Villaroman. And it was Celis Williams in coverage as the pass fell incomplete in the back corner with 40 seconds to go in the half. And it's a 2nd down and 10 from the Bosco 14.
And again, Josh, I bet you Smith has thrown that pass to Villaroma probably 30 times this year and completed 27.
Yeah.
And it's just different when you're playing against guys like this. I mean, they just cover very well coached. I've said that many, many times. They got a lot of good athletes, which is great. But if they're not coached right, it doesn't matter. Bosco's coaches are as good as anybody. They're very sound. Kids know what they're doing. Their defense is very, very, very hard to play against.
First time this drive, Latu checks in as the tailback in the backfield. Smith takes the snap, turns and throws left, overthrown and intercepted by Celis Williams. He dove forward and picked off Smith's pass for the interception to once again turn away the Padres offense inside the red zone. And with 33 seconds to play in the half, Bosco will maintain a 35-0 lead.
St. John Bosco takes over.
I see Bosco take a knee very often, so they may actually try. We'll see. People make comments about running up the score and things like that. This is the state championship game between the two best teams in California, so we'll see. They are lined up in the victory formation, and they'll do it.
Clarkson drops to a knee, and at the final 30 seconds, he'll tick off the clock here in the first half. And St. John Bosco with a dominant first half against Northern California's top team in the Serra Padres, and the number 1 team in the country is going to stroll into the break with a 5-touchdown lead in the Open Division State Championship here in Mission Viejo. Well, if you're head coach Jason Negro, I don't think you could have game planned for a better first half. And I'm sure your first half speech to your team is probably going to go even better than you hoped it would.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, you've got Patrick Walsh and his staff talking to a team that's 13-0 entering today's game in a situation where they have not been in all season, now down 35-0 to the top team in the land.
Right. And you got to remember, they're 35-0, and they've played some pretty darn good football teams, and Bosco's making them look very average. It gives you an idea of how good Bosco, and I'm not going to leave Mater Dei out of that conversation either, so we're going to head out of here and take a break.
35-0 St. John.